Hey everybody, it's Fabi here with the 5KGP. That's right, a new letter to add to it. The 5KG podcast. What up? That's right. Stupid names right from the get go. Someone take over. I'm train wrecking. Connor.
Hey. So, moving past that, like Fabi said, I'm Connor.
I'm Manny. What's up?
And we are
The 5KGP.
And that's Fabi.
It's like the Grand Prix. It's like the anime, the GXP or whatever.
And
GP.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Generation X.
and we're gonna go ahead and revive the 5KG podcast. We were sitting around playing a horror game, some Shut Eye.
You saw part one of this podcast for like 10 minutes of us talking about Dead by Daylight at the end of Shut Eye. Like, that's what happened.
And we made a serious conscious decision.
This podcast is just going to be a discussion about stuff. It's not these podcasts probably won't be as serious. You know, it's just us talking and stuff. And that's what I was about to bring up to Manny, being like,
I feel like we could probably just bring up whatever we want to talk about.
No, that's true. Like, that's just more like, this is just us talking. And I was going to bring that up because, like, it's nothing like what I would be like, oh shit, we have to talk about something like that. And bringing up gaming related stuff is fun, but like, I read news all the time, so I'm just like, I could be like, shit, dude, fucking.
Exactly.
Did you hear about Nintendo?
Right.
Did you hear? No, but I actually had some fun related stuff. I was gonna say, first off, I was gonna say about how I wish that about a time back before like I was doing this more serious. I wish I had these times where it was just like, yeah, dude, like wait, stop the conversation. I'm gonna grab my mic. Podcast time, because there was a fucking night, and like every year, or at least it used to. Jeremy brought this up. There was a night we sat, like Jeremy was wrapped in a fucking burrito, like he was like, we were talking about Majora's Mask and creepypastas. He was sleeping on his couch. This is back when he lived in his mom's basement. That's right, he was a basement dweller. He was a cool one though. He had like a life and everything, but he would actually. He was like sleeping on the sofa, and we were like, whatever. I thought things were about to wrap up, so he went to his like little bed, and he was sleeping in there, and he was like, I'm being a burrito, so I like tucked him in. I was like, here you go, champ, and like I was being fun. But you know how sometimes we linger at Jeremy, even though he's gone to bed, we still linger for a little bit. Sometimes.
Yeah. Ended up lingering for like 5 hours.
We lingered for like a few minutes, but then we like, I can't remember exactly.
You ever thought about like when?
No, we brought up Earthbound,
but like. It was really good.
It like started with Earthbound. It started with Earthbound, and we brought up stuff. And Jeremy was kind of still listening in, like, cause he can sleep through that kind of shit. He's done it while we were playing Smash. He slept through Smash and yelling and everything.
Oh yeah,
he's a heavy sleeper.
But we bring up Earthbound, and he's like in his burrito, and he's still kind of talking to us. And then we start talking about Earthbound Mother 3, and like about what happens and stuff. And he starts bringing up a dream that he had, and I'm going to butcher this. Jerry might tell again if I bring it up sometime, but the dream was something like it was sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really a dream, or I'm pretty sure he said it was
sleep paralysis is fucked up.
Well, that's what it sounded like, because I was like, I think that was sleep paralysis, because he had woken up, and I don't know if you remember Jeremy's basement's layout, but
I've been there like
you were there twice, I think. Yeah. Do you remember like the stairs going down and stuff, and like his bed was way the fuck over here?
Yeah, I remember it was way off in the corner.
So like he was like, on his bed, and he would look up the stairs. I'll draw a crude map for those following along at home. So there was like the stairs there, and he was just like in his bed, and he looked at the stairs, and that whole sleep paralysis shadow people thing started. But that wasn't even the creepiest part. Happy Halloween, by the way. That wasn't the creepiest part. Look, Halloween podcast. The creepiest part for him was the fact that like when he saw like the shadow up on the stairs, and there's another part of this I'm forgetting, but it's not really that most important part of this. The thing that really spooked him out was the fact that have you ever beaten Earthbound, either of you, or seen the ending of it?
I know with Gygus?
Yeah, so you know like the Gygus, the fetus thing.
The theory about how you're going back in time to kill a fetus.
Well, I mean, that's not a theory, it's actually what's happening. It's in the game's dialogue.
Oh, okay.
I think, at least. Don't quote me on that. I'm being Earthbound in like 20 years. Well, I can actually say that now. Anyways.
Welcome to being able to count your life in decades.
Anyways, the Gygus music, which is very unsettling. It's very staticky and like
it's got a lot of
garbled and really fucked up. Like
a lot of like just background generic weird fucking.
It's like thinking of something like the really unsettling Resident Evil music they play sometimes, where it's like garbled and kind of fucked up, or like in some horror games.
Yeah, I can kind of
So that's what. But
I
it's back
suppose.
in the SNES days, so it's like even more fucked up. Like those
Yeah.
frequencies that make you feel unsettling.
Yeah.
Yep.
He heard that in that sleep paralysis.
Oh.
Extremely loud. Like it was blaring loud. It scared the shit out
So
of him.
basically, shadow figure in stairway and hearing.
Dude, he fought
creepy
Gygas
ass
in
music.
sleep paralysis. Like he went back in time and killed the fucking fetus. All right.
Damn.
Norman Reedus' funky fetus is dead.
God damn it! God
Oh!
damn it!
Oh, Kojima, what are you doing, baby?
Apparently, like at Tokyo Game Show, there was another like gameplay trailer,
Yeah.
but I actually haven't seen it yet.
And Troy Baker's in the game.
He does a good job. Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What?
I feel like Hideo Kojima basically...
Hideo.
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo.
Kojima-sama.
God damn it.
At one point, fucking... Okay, so... Konami was like...
Both of them are sleeping.
Right, Konami was like, fuck you.
But you can be like, yeah, it looks like this. Yeah.
Konami was like, fuck you.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, yeah.
We're getting rid of Silent Hills. We're done. We're scrapping the project. And...
Boom.
Machines.
And
Here's silent fetuses.
yeah, and Sony was like, hey man, why don't you come on over here? We'll get Guillermo del Toro. We'll get fucking Meryl.
Well, Guillermo del Toro is just a character in the game.
He's just a character.
He's forever scarred, and he has stated that he will never work on a video game project.
Which is very sad. But
Yeah.
Kojima basically said, alright, you wouldn't let me have Silent Hills, Konami. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to produce something as weird as I fucking can. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what the fuck this game is going to be.
Survive.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what this game is going to be when it comes out with Death Stranding.
Fucking no one does.
Well, no, someone said from the last gameplay trailer, like, that looks like some Metal Gear Survive shit. And we're like, oh. All I know is this dude, have you seen the gameplay trailer?
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've seen the stuff from E3 this last year.
He sounds like a fucking demon monster or some shit. And, like, it actually shows the first, like, it's not walking simulator. It's actually, you know, there's enemies. There's actually, like, a fucking shadowy demon thing. That
and I remember they made a deal showing that, like, the thing on their backs, they're enemies that you can't see, and the thing on your back, the whoop 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 clappy thing, helps you detect where they are.
The thing from
they
Destiny,
can't see. They can't see, and they follow you by sound and the rain. The fucking rain like speeds up time or something.
It's called Timefall. And
Yeah.
anything that the that rain comes in contact with ages.
So yeah.
So like that goes for like inanimate objects. That goes for living beings.
Dude, that explains the whole baby thing where, like, you die.
Basically,
and,
like
grow
you
the fuck
die
back
and then
up.
you basically grow back up. Yes, that is exactly it. He is carrying the fetus of himself, is what like everyone.
Dude, it is Norman Reedus' funky fetus. It's Norman Reedus.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
So,
Yeah.
But you brought up Metal Gear Survive. You brought up that, and that just made me think of that. And basically, just I don't know what the fuck Death Stranding is going to be. I'm purposefully kind of letting it not become. I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, even with Soul Calibur 6, Kingdom Hearts 3, like, I'm not buying into the hype unless I absolutely have to.
So, yeah,
because I want to be as surprised. I want to be as surprised.
have you heard me talk about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes.
I'm like, fuck that shit, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared to hell, dude. It's Square Enix. Square Enix blow every dev company except Jeremy will be like, no, dude, Capcom's coming back. Capcom's coming back.
Actually, no.
I'm
honestly,
fucking waiting.
they are.
I'm waiting
They're
for
gonna
every
fuck
bullet.
off.
I'm waiting for every single fucking bullet in Resident Evil 2 to be a goddamn microtransaction. I'm ready to be like, oh, you can't survive? Spend $1 and we'll give you 10 bullets.
Oh, dude, if they introduce microtransactions into Kingdom Hearts...
Or
Oh, they're thinking about introducing DLC to Kingdom Hearts, and I'm
Of
like,
course they are.
no.
Look at what they were going to do with Final Fantasy VII. They were going to turn it into some episodic bullshit. Look what they did to 15. Like, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, the other night, Fabi, I've come to a full revelation with myself, and I'm willing to be open with myself.
You're gay.
15. Fuck you. 15 was mediocre at best.
He gets it.
I
He gets it for the wrong reasons, but he gets it.
No, and like...
Nice.
Like, I think the thing was, there's a really awesome YouTuber named Super Eyepatch Wolf who did a full, like, hour-long video.
I don't know if that's really, like, super awesome or, like, really high school level naming.
I know, right? But
It's
he
probably
did,
one of those
like...
things where like he's got the handle and you just kind of roll with
He's
it.
Yeah.
one of the things where he looked around the room and he was like,
I still had time to finish my. I had time to change my handle. So.
But, like, so he did a 50-minute video about how it had such a horrible development cycle and how, like, it had so many good ideas, but it got tossed around so much and so much stuff was cut, like, it ended up being a horrible mess. And I'm willing to accept that now. I'd hope that is not what has happened to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah,
Because it has had almost as long as of a development.
I will bring up the fact that Kingdom Hearts 3 has been stated that they are like they just want it done. That's why they're pushing it. That they've actually said that they will cut content to get it done and slap it on as DLC.
Oh, of course they will.
And that's why they're talking about it.
That's why 15.
They can't. The story will not make sense if they make it DLC.
That's why 15.
I mean, the only reason I can ever see if Kingdom Hearts 3 decides to go with DLC, the only thing I can really see them doing is literally just like they'll just put filler worlds in. Like, I don't know exactly how to describe it as much, but like they'll literally, like, let's say for example they put in
Treasure Planet.
Anything, literally anything. And literally, all it'll be is like Sora, Donald, and Goofy go to Treasure Planet, and then they have their little Treasure Planet adventure. And then maybe somewhere at the end they'll incorporate something about the Organization 13 or whatever. And it really won't have any impact on the story. It'll just be pure gameplay. Like that's all it'll be. You'll be like, hey, here's a new Keyblade, here's a new Keyblade ability.
Except when Sora, Riku and Kairi die, that'll be a weird
I'm not saying I approve of this and I want it. I'm just saying that I don't think they'll incorporate any kind of DLC that'll change the story.
Yeah. And I hope you're right.
Unless they're going to try to do some epilogue bullshit, which would be really bad if they did.
Well, okay, here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts. I know we're going on Kingdom Hearts for a second. Like, I wasn't even ever finished my first goddamn part of this.
I know, I'm sorry.
All go happens. This is how podcasts work sometimes. You just go on tangents. It's fun.
You do.
It gives us something to talk about. But, I'm honest, like, the way they're doing it, because they're only showing Sora, but there's, like, all this talk, like, a playable character and a playable character. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Roxas was a playable character.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Or I'm not thinking anymore, because they've shown Sora, they've shown Riku, and they've shown Kairi, and they've got their own individual stories happening. So my belief is that they're doing a birth by sleep situation where you can be the three characters and they have their own past and they eventually, come together because they each actually have their own missions. Sora's looking for the key to return hearts. Riku are looking for Terravin and Aqua. Mm-hmm. That's why you see the cutscene where he sees Aqua. Sora's the only one that can fix Aqua because he has that power to actually bring people back from that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But he needs that key to do it, and there's like all this stuff. But Kairi's got her own fucking thing. She's in training. That's why I thought maybe she would be the playable character because that would be like the tutorial bit where it's also, like Kairi's learning how to be a Keyblade master.
And we know that Axel is a Keyblade wielder.
Dude, I fucking would totally throw Sora under the bus for Axel.
I would play
and
Axel.
I've been praising. I've been like, please don't do fucking characters. Please don't do this multiple character bullshit. Sora's been fucking kicked in the balls for like 2 or 3 games straight. Like he's been fucked. Hard.
But you would throw him under the bus for Axel.
Fuck yeah, dude. He's
high fucking
ass.
5. I would play a whole game about Axel.
He's pretty damn cool.
Have you beaten Dream Drop Distance?
I have. As difficult as it is to say this and actually mean it, I actually do need to go back and go through Dream Drop Distance because like so much of the shit at the end I just completely like lost like
what?
The story, like so much of it. Like at some point, like the entire time, like what you thought was cool costume design was really plot. The whole fucking.
Are you talking about the symbol on Riku's back? Didn't we have a conversation on this?
We did, but we did.
Fuck that symbol! And I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, but also just kind of the whole literally. My problem with Dream Drop Distance was going through the game. It does kind of fall into a bit of like procedural Kingdom Hearts where it's like, hey, team goes to world, has adventure, moves on. Team goes to world, has adventure, moves on. This one has a little bit of plot in it though. And then literally you get towards the end and literally it's just like plot. No, stop, please stop. No, slow down. And I just kind of lost. Like literally it didn't click until afterwards. I'm like, Sora's like kidnapped, asleep, stolen some nonsense, and now I'm playing as Riku. Oh, okay. What? But, yeah, and then at the end, they're just like, everyone's a Keyblade Master. You get a Keyblade. You get a Keyblade. Everybody here gets a Keyblade. It's fucking Oprah out here. Right. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then Axel gets a Keyblade. I'm like, all right, I don't even know how this happens. I don't care how it happens.
Now. Right now. In case of emergency, break glass.
Right.
No, I legitimately have no idea why the fuck Axel's not only not dead, because he did this whole, I'm going to die and save you.
Yeah, he did a self-sacrifice thing.
And then not only is he not dead, but he also is now a Keyblade warrior, and I'm like...
He's whole again, too. He's a whole person again.
No. Dream Drop Distance will not explain the whole why they're whole again. That's Kingdom Hearts 2.
Right.
Because, they explain that when a Nobody and a Heartless are both destroyed, it brings back the original person.
Oh, that's right. They
Yes,
did.
that's explaining Kingdom
That's why
Hearts
all
2.
the members of Organization
That's why I
13,
like, really,
except for some
if
key
you-
members.
And the reason why Lee has the Keyblades also alluded to throughout the game. Like when he shows up to the tower and they're like, "Whoa, it's fucking Axel." We're like, "Gosh, it's Axel. He's gonna fucking kill us."
And he's like, "No, I'm your
That's
friend now."
It's a great Goofy impersonation.
I actually get a
forgot.
really good one
We
at
keep calling him
too.
Axel. Technically, his name's
His name's
Lee.
It's Lee.
Right.
I like Lee. I called him Lee. I'm calling Axel because everybody else calls him
I
Axel.
mean, I'm calling him Axel because I didn't even know his name was Lee.
I mean, I think Axel's a cooler name than
What's
Lee.
supposed to be your favorite fucking game and you don't know his name's Lee? Shit, dude.
I don't remember. Again, the whole, like, when they were like, fucking, like, you're a Keyblade Master, you're a Keyblade Master, everybody here gets a fucking Keyblade. I was like, what now, mate?
I will corral us back in though, back to the conversation of DLC.
No, I'm going back into Kingdom Hearts. I'm explaining it. We'll go back
we can
to
talk about DLC and how you were talking about how there's possibly some allusions to the fact.
Floodgate. No, Connor, you open the floodgate.
Let's
You
not
open the
hey,
floodgate.
Bobby.
I will
didn't even-
eat thing. I will kill
Let's
Manny.
not get too distracted.
I'm not distracted. I mean, it's conversation.
It is conversation.
Because he actually had a valid thing, and I was going to
What's the valid thing? What's the valid thing?
about what I was saying. I was actually going to clear it up because it's super easy. Like Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to say this right now. Kingdom Hearts is as complicated as you make it. If you're a child, that shit's easy as fuck to understand. Boom, there's bad guys, you're a good guy, kill that motherfucker. You become like a 13-year-old, you're like, oh shit, dude, dark and light, that's like my soul, holy shit. You become adults and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? This is the stupidest thing in the whole goddamn world. What the fuck is that? What the fuck happened to this dude's head and shit? So that's why I'm like, it's super easy to explain what he's confused about, because, like, all he's missing is like 2 or 3 parts. It's like, he didn't catch one part of it where, Lee actually goes to train and they say that can he wield it? And it's like, oh, he's talking about the Keyblade.
Right.
The other part that he missed was the fact that, like, I was like, oh yeah, Riku was in Sora's dream. Like, that part's pretty simple right there. And then the last part, like, why the people are Keyblade Masters is because that's just a thing.
And you have brought that point up to us before, that the story is as complicated as you make it. I kind of disagree with that. A story can be complicated on itself. I think the important thing is to differentiate. There is a difference between a complicated story and a convoluted story. Kingdom Hearts' story, in my mind, is not complicated, but it is kind of convoluted.
Yeah, people say that.
I mean, I know you don't believe. I know you disagree.
No, I know
with
there's
that.
plot holes everywhere in that.
I'm not even saying there's plot holes. I'm not even saying there's plot
No,
holes.
there's plot holes. They're literally, they've gone back and tried to actually retroactively retcon stuff from Kingdom Hearts 1.
Right.
Like explaining why does Sora have the Keyblade? Oh, that's because blah blah
They
blah
made
blah.
it. They made it sound like it's a one-person kind of
Because
thing.
there was never supposed to be a sequel.
Right. It was supposed to be like Final Fantasy. There wasn't supposed to be another one. But like, Kingdom Hearts story isn't complicated. It's just kind of convoluted. There's a lot of branching trees. There's a lot of little, like you said, it can be cleared up by a few little things, but you have to clear it up with these little things to make those holes disappear and make the tree whole. It's a nice
That's
tree.
what I meant.
It's
Why
a nice
simple.
tree.
The convoluted part. It really, because people, they get lost in the information.
There's a lot of information.
You can get lost in there, and that's the thing. But if you really if you pick the information and find, and this is in a lot of games, if you take the information that, like, actually is important, I'd say there's, like, a lot of fucking exposition. Like, there's shit. It's like Metal Gear Solid levels of exposition sometimes. But the real thing is, like, that's why I said, like, it's very simple to explain the ending to Dream Drop Distance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Keyblade Master thing is, because, the games, while sometimes they can be like, oh, anybody can play this, they don't have to play the old games, there is obviously something there for you to understand, like, why Lee was able to become a Keyblade wielder.
Right.
Well, that's just because people have that power. It's a thing that's inside of them. Like, that's why they go, why, like, can he wield it? Well, it's an aptitude kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sora's only able to wield it because he actually stole it from Riku. Well, there's a weird thing, but
He kind of life hacked that shit.
well, and yeah,
Move on to some point, yeah. So, well,
yeah, dude.
But yeah, like, but no, like, I agree, and that whole tangent just comes down to, I am cautiously excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm absolutely going to play it, because for both of us, it's going to be a big culmination of, like, something we grew up with. You more than me, because I love Kingdom Hearts, but it has fallen to the wayside over the years. I still love it, but it's not necessarily on my top.
Yes,
for
you're still
you,
fine for Castlevania. You're like,
I do.
what? New Castle? Oh, it's just a fucking remaster.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
But I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. Reeling us back to the point before, I sure as fuck hope they don't cut shit up and put it in as DLC. They fucked it up with 15 and put a bunch of stuff in later in the game that made people go, oh, well, that would have been nice to see.
They completely rehauled the combat system, too.
They did
Other than the fact that it's still, like, one-button win.
Oh, they've released, like, literally a dozen patches since the game originally came out. This is what the Royal Edition is. And there's character-based DLC for all 3 secondary characters.
Fucking shit, dude. I was like, in the demo, I was like...
Like, literally, I played
the demo. It's flashy but shallow. It's flashy but shallow.
It gets later on, like, you actually do more combo-y stuff. Like, you really do. Like, you press more buttons, but goddamn, you do not have to do that. Like, that's the game where, like,
that's
minimum
why I hated
effort.
The demo. Like, literally, I played the demo, and I was done. Someone was like, no, you really shouldn't be that critical about it because it's just a demo. I'm like, when it looks this good, when everything is this polished graphically, this is what you're looking at.
No, I disagree. I think when a demo comes out, that is you showing people what your game has to offer. And if people are not pleased by the demo, you've got a fucking problem.
Now, apparently, I think they did do, 2 demos?
Oh, no. A lot of people didn't like the demo. And then they actually day one patched that out.
Yeah.
I think, but I think they had 2 demos, and I played the first one, which is the older one. So I'll give it that. But still, like, again, the purpose of a demo is to show off your product, whether it be finished or basically finished. I should play your demo, and this is what I should expect when I purchase your game. And it did not impress me.
Or at the very least, you should look at it and go, okay, I kind of like this base. I want to see where this goes.
Now, I will say, the way they handled the demo, brilliant. Because how it worked was you're in the demo, and I think it's like you're playing as like Noctis when he was a kid, and it's like a dream sequence. So it's kind of got like a little... Honestly, it's got a little bit of a Kingdom Hearts vibe when I was playing it, honestly. But I liked how it handled it. It wasn't just simply like, here's an X script of our game, and this is how combat works, you know. I mean, obviously, it did that. But it led up to that, like, here's light platforming. Here is our jaw-droppingly beautiful graphics engine.
And the food.
That they built from the ground up for the game.
Yeah. Like, there's literally buttons on the floor that could change the weather properties between night and day, and I was like, holy shit, this game is beautiful. And then I played it at the end with the combat in the boss fight. And it was flashy. It looked cool. Some of the attacks were satisfying to pull off, but at the end of the day, I'm literally like, I wonder if I literally just hold this button down. Will I just win? And I did.
It's a very flashy, very impressive, but very shallow combat system.
Yep.
And
it's boring as fuck after a little while.
It is. It is. It's very boring after a while.
I actually, since we're talking about the combat for a moment, I remember back when it came out, and like there was this like divide where people were like, basically they're like, yeah, it's basically all just one big fucking active time event kind of thing, and like bosses actually have active time events or something.
Yeah.
Like the Leviathan battle is what was brought up because it was like the whole Leviathan battle is just like one fucking AT, and it's like okay, but people are like, but like they're like bringing up games like the free roaming games, like we were talking about before, Kingdom Hearts free roaming game, you know, action-y kind of games, like it was supposed to be when it was originally discussed, like when they showed the first thing of it ever. And I was like, well, that's just one game. You do something like, no, you string together fucking combos when you're doing that shit. Like, shit changes. You press one fucking button. Like, Josh didn't actually know you could hold the button. He actually thought you actually mashed it. So he thought, and I'm like, that's a good mindset, I guess. Like, if you just pretend you're doing that, it feels like you're stringing together. You're not. You press one button.
You shouldn't have to fake yourself into game mechanics.
But he actually didn't know, though.
Yeah.
I know, but still. But, like, after you do know,
yeah,
I wouldn't continue to do that. Like, shit, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Like, I wouldn't.
And you hold him like, wow, it's like, wow, and but like, there was that switch, and I hadn't played it since the demo, so I was like, did it change? What happened? Like, what are they exactly talking about? And I'm like, all I can think of is it's just this one button thing, and
trying to play this fucking game and it keeps disconnecting me from my lobby, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. Okay,
I'm like,
Pissing me off. Universe is telling me to fucking put everything into this fucking mic.
Yeah, dude, why not? Talk about your problems on that thing. But when I actually played it, I was like, wow, this game really is just these like
one
two
and
buttons.
done.
There's no like magic is fucking useless half the time until probably later.
I thought it was really funny too. Did it ever change? The magic I did get to use in the demo Fucking fire go was a fucking grenade. Like,
No, that's all it is. The magic, you craft magic grenades. And,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
it's basically
So
this.
dumb.
It's basically variations on the same 3 spells.
Like,
That's all it is.
Like, to a certain extent, like, that's kind of creative, yeah. Like, if we're in some kind of world where, like, magic is alchemy or whatever, and they're grenades, but, like, if every single fucking spell is just a different glorified grenade, like, come on.
See, for me, that's my problem with the story. The kind of person that I am, when you tell me this is a character who uses magic to summon ethereal weapons at will and can wield a dozen weapons at a time and
turn energy drinks into potions.
Right.
And you're telling me that I can't shoot a fucking fireball out of my hands?
Exactly.
Like, my ass.
The magic, like, and because the story of
This
the
guy's
game.
going places.
Because the story of why Noctis has his power is giant big magic crystal that chose a family to be their bearers. And so it's this all-powerful magic crystal that imbues this bloodline with its power.
Homie can't cast fire go to save his life.
They can summon a bajillion fucking broadswords, but they can't cast a fucking fireball.
Homie can't save his homie's
what kind
life,
of fucking
save his life. He fucking goes into a crystal for 10 years to save his goddamn city.
Spoilers.
God.
Spoilers to a game no one cares about half the time.
Like, I'm just like, it's just like the narrative inconsistency, I think. The problem was, I was trying to replay it. And I have willingly for so long been like, no, this is a good game. Because legitimately, I like the idea. I like the narrative. Yeah. I like the characters. I like Noctis. I like his band of merry men. I think it's a cool idea. Themes of brotherhood and traveling together and growing up together. And the idea of you're never alone. You always have those closest to you. I like that. But it's in such a poorly executed package that I could not keep holding it up on this pedestal made of sticks and lies.
Well,
my house of cards collapsed.
Just to, like, before going on further on that, the whole Band of Brothers thing, I can get down with that because as I was playing the side story, like the actual not story part, I was like, it's alright, it's not bad. Like, I was like, I had to deal with the combat, but like, I was at least going with it to be like, alright, there is some characters here, and I have yet to play it again to actually see the story development. All I know is the story, it's like 6 hours, and the rest is like 80 hours of fucking everything else. Yeah. That gets locked out, by the way, after like chapter 5 or 6.
Yep. And the problem is the difficulty ramps so quickly once you get later in the game that you have to do the side stuff to level up.
Yeah. So yeah, that execution is extremely terrible.
Oh, we live in a day and age
like
now
the characters,
we're looking forward to remakes more than new IPs.
God, it's so
Resident Evil 2, Crystal Chronicles is coming back, right?
That's remaster.
Remaster.
At least, dude, fuck that. At least we don't have to plug like a fucking GameCube thing and then plug the GameCube thing and then plug in the fucking
that was absurd.
I would still do it just because I'm like, they did it, and that makes me like it's so fucking funny as shit, dude. I'd be like, I'll post a picture here in the thing though. Have you seen that picture?
No, I played it. Like where it's
the mock-up for Crystal Chronicles, the remake.
Oh,
someone made a joke mock-up, and you know the GameCube adapter.
Yeah.
For the Wii U.
Oh my god, it's the GameCube
They plugged
adapter.
it into the Switch, and they plugged in the fucking this Game Boy Advance adapter into the it has 4 adapters playing on the Switch.
Back in, oh my god,
it was
great.
Awesome. I was like, that's
great.
amazing. I want it.
Great.
I thought it was so good.
But like what you were talking about, Connor, about not trying to get yourself high, I understand that full-heartedly.
Yeah.
You don't want to build up a game so high up on a pedestal, and then you're disappointed on it. I mean, there's lots of games in gaming history that have fallen suit with that.
Gears of War.
For me, it was Final Fantasy 15.
Gears 4 was alright.
It's
only alright. It could have been better. I have problems with it, and I'm going to continue to have problems with it.
I just chose a
5
random
comes
game
out.
that he liked.
What, 4?
Yeah, just like a random game that you really enjoyed. Like you.
I mean, no, it's true though. Like,
I guess like say Halo, but we've been disappointed in Halo for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
like there's literally
Reach was okay.
There's literally a meme going around, or it was just one of the memes, and it was literally just like, it's that meme where it's a guy talking to a girl, and the guy's just like, hurt me, because like it's like sexual kind of deal.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he's like, hurt me, and then she's just like, Halo 3 was the last good Halo game ever made. Me, wait. Halo 3 was made in 2007. You'll never play with your childhood friends ever again. You're holding on to an empty dream. Me, please stop. Like,
I've seen
hurt
that.
me, and then she gets too real, and you're like, no, wait, please stop.
And it's
I'm like,
so
Reach
true.
exists. That was still pretty fun to play with people.
Reach was pretty good.
Reach was actually, I enjoyed Reach.
I enjoyed Reach.
But Reach was also a
But
fucking
listen,
prequel.
guys, all right, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the DLC
Let's
part.
reel everything back
Let's
to
reel
the DLC.
all the way. No, to the beginning of it. Devil May Cry 5. You could still fucking buy the red orbs. Like, that made me go, what the... And I actually had a decent conversation with somebody about this at the college, and it was, and he was like me, where I'm just like, it doesn't initially bother me. It's not like, okay, whatever, that doesn't affect me.
You don't have the knee-jerk reaction.
But the thing is, it's like, I'm not in that ideal mind where it's like, it doesn't affect you. It's only if people want to buy it. It's the fact that they're doing that practice that it just makes me go.
Well, that is unfortunately also just the gaming world that we live in right now.
I know, and
which is very unfortunate. I'm not going to deny that I'm any happy about it as you or Connor or anyone else is about it. But coming from playing more mobile games than I can count, that is just how it is. It is, if the game isn't free to play, then you buy it. And then there's going to be microtransactions. It's just the thing. Whether that be pay to win, whether that be pay for loot boxes, which in a lot of countries now are being flagged as being illegal forms of gambling.
Like, half this shit should not be in the industry. It really shouldn't.
No, it really shouldn't be. If you look back in the history of gaming, we have our games. We have everything came out of the box, done deal. That's fine. Games advance, right? Games get better. Someone has the idea, hey, we can take this game
and make money,
and we can build on it and make it better. In theory, make it better,
and cut that piece off and sell it to people for more money.
Right? Honestly, to this day, I do not have a problem with the concept of DLC.
Right.
You're telling me that I can take my favorite game that I loved a lot, and then you can tell me that you can put more features in the game that are being worked on post-launch to just add more quality of life to the game.
You built a game, finished a game.
You're telling me I can buy the ending of the game? Thanks, fucking Dead Space 3.
Not like that.
Look at it this way.
Like
What were DLCs? We call them DLCs now.
Expansions.
What were they? Exactly. They were originally called expansions.
They were also
Multiplayer maps.
actually full ass fucking games.
Yeah, and they actually had just about as much love, if not more, than the finished product. But now, it is an oversaturated market where it is expected. Like, literally now, if you look at giants like Battlefield, like Call of Duty, not so much Battlefield now because of how bad they fucked up with Battlefront, but I digress regardless. It is now the staple. You went from paying $60 for a game, and then eventually spending maybe an extra 10 to 20 afterwards for an extra piece of content, to spending $60 on your game still, but then expected to pay an additional $40 to $50, basically rebuying another copy of that game to get guaranteed content that's going to be released within the next year to support that game.
Oh, the season pass.
The season pass. That's why I didn't say the word yet, and I explained it first. It is expected now for most AAA games, and it's sad. Now, obviously, there are a lot of good games out there that are combating this. Titanfall 2 was a perfect example.
One of the most underrated games.
A very underrated game. I actually very enjoyed the multiplayer, and the campaign was actually a very nice nod to classic single-player experience. Titanfall 2, absolutely zero DLC. Any post-game content was completely free. Anything other than that was purely cosmetic DLC, which is the lesser of the evils, if I'm being honest. Coming from someone who also enjoys customizing characters and making my character my own unique personification of that character, to know that there are some options limited behind a paywall is unfortunate. But of course, if it's something I really want, if it's something I really want to support, technically, I have no problem buying it. A good example of this for me would be Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege has what's called elite skins, where you play as your operator. Everyone has access to this operator, assuming it's not a DLC operator, because there's that shit.
Yeah.
But let's say, my main attacker is called Thermite. Now, he has an elite skin, where he looks 100% different, and his gadgets look completely different as well. It's centered around a theme of the character. And if you get the MVP at the end of the game, you have a game-winning, emote that plays, because saying that you have the elite skin and you got MVP that round. So it's just little extra things that just add more flavor to the game. I've already purchased the game. I already purchased my season pass. I get all my stuff. And I personally would want to take that a little further. Thank you, Nature.
Ooh, little bit of lightning.
With just a more customization. And technically, the game is now, hopefully, will be going on to its 4th year next year. And you have to think about, how is that game still being supported? The game, $60 up front, you got it. Get your season pass, okay. Unfortunately, though, that's not enough for most games nowadays. So some games do need the microtransactions.
And I agree with that. I actually do. Games like that, and like you can tell that at first people gave a lot of shit to Siege. But you can tell that there very much is a labor of love keeping it up and going. They are supporting the competitive community, they're supporting the game as a whole, and I actually agree. Optional microtransactions later on to add extra stuff to your characters, I like that. I despise loot boxes. You've heard my rant about loot boxes in shit like Overwatch.
Yeah,
Loot boxes...
Literally was at the point where I actually would be spending at least $20 a season on their seasonal stuff. I think I did that for about 3 seasons straight, because I remember I did it once for the Halloween, once for winter, and then once for their 1-year anniversary, because there was a lot of cool shit in there that I wanted. And if I didn't get it, or if I got what I wanted, then I'm like, crap. And then since then, I have not purchased any more loot boxes in Blizzard, because it's just, I don't know, it's fine, I don't care.
She's dumb.
I wanted to bring up, like, there's, like, a lot of differences in this stuff. That there's things that I'm like, I can tolerate it. Like, I can be down with certain, like, even Final Fantasy 14 has, like, an actual, like, called, like, the Mog Shop or something.
Yeah,
that has specific cosmetic stuff. And it's like, okay, cool.
I've actually, as a Final Fantasy 14 player, I've spent a little bit of money in the Mog Station to get a cool costume for my character.
I bought a wedding for somebody.
Shut this?
Yeah, you can shut
Yeah, now the rain's getting kind of loud.
Yeah.
Ooh, that rain is picking up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pull it down there, yeah. But someone wanted to get married, so I bought a wedding for somebody because it cost $20.
Yeah, you can get those things. You can get
I got to participate in a wedding ceremony. It was awesome.
Yeah. But I'm doing stuff like that. It could be good. Like, I think one of the things I said, and we've played it, fucking Warframe, where it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool that you can
pay for time, you pay for convenience, you don't pay for power.
I never liked it. It's just because I'm like, man, I just want to fucking do this shit.
Right.
Like, I don't want to grind. Like, and it's like, yeah, but the cool thing is you can sell and make platinum and do this stuff.
There's an entire economy.
Yeah.
And as someone who's been playing Warframe for years, Manny's been playing since fucking closed beta.
Baby.
He's a founder. I've only been playing since open, just after the open beta. But I'm okay with giving money to, and let's be honest, Digital Extremes, as a studio and as people, are just fucking good people.
They're very good to their fan base.
They're so good to their fan base. They have some of the best customer service I've ever fucking seen. But I feel good when I give them my money, because I feel like it is making, even if it's at a cosmetic level, it is enhancing my gameplay experience for the positive. I'm not going, ugh, I gotta give them money so I can get this. It's, ooh, I want that. Please, have my money.
Good company to contrast against that. Nexon.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Nexon. I don't even, like, Nexon's a piece of shit. Listen, just Nexon fucking sucks.
So my problem with Nexon was Maple Story. Maple Story was the first big free to play MMO game I ever played, because I think I was like in middle school when that was the thing.
About because I was in high school.
And then around about early high school is when Dungeon Fighter Online
Never played it.
was a game, and both of those games were wholeheartedly pay to win. Like,
I remember Dungeon Story.
Absurdly pay to win. And I remember spending many a childhood weekly allowance on microtransactions in that game. Because I wanted to be good, or I wanted to look cool. So I got burned heavily. We used to play together.
He looked like,
I got burned badly on Nexon, mainly with Dungeon Fighter Online. Dungeon Fighter Online, I played so much of it back when it was under Nexon. Thankfully, it's not now. It's a much better game now for it. But I remember spending so much money on that game, just to have the game shut down on me, and then being promised a refund for the last year of purchases I would have made on that game. And I remember I had a screenshot of my account and all the transactions I made in Dungeon Fighter Online. And they had a step-by-step process where you had to submit a ticket to qualify for refund. And what really, first of all, really sucked about it is depending on how long ago that purchase, you will only be refunded a percentage of that money.
Yep.
So say if it was at the max of a year, then I would only get like 10% back of what I spent. But if I would have spent something within the last month, or not even a month, like literally just a few days, I would have qualified for 100%. So I go through the steps. I submit my ticket. You know, I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And I am doing it this way because I am dead fucking serious when I say this. I did not get a reply from this email until several years. I am in college, and the game shut down, and I want to say 2011, 2012. I remember it was around the time I was in high school.
Yeah. Maple Story 2's out at this point.
Maple Story 2's out at this point.
Which, shout out to my boy, Sean Shiplock, does voice acting in Maple Story 2. What up, brother?
God damn it. That's great.
As we sit here talking shit about Nexon, the company that made Maple Story.
I mean, they're better now.
Yeah, they're better now.
Before, oof. So anyway,
Oofs in
literally,
chat, please.
I did not get a reply.
For
years. I remember being in the car with my roommate at the time, and we're heading home, and I get an email, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm reading the email, and literally, the email says, we have reviewed your account, and you did not qualify for any refunds. Years later. Wow. After they had their huge PR change.
Did you just email them back a picture of you flipping them off?
I didn't even email them back. I was so thrown back that I not only had to wait years for this response, that the response was also obviously not what I wanted. And at this point, I've forgotten all about it.
Yep.
I've accepted the fact that they just took my money. But because before I got that response, I was so burned on free-to-play games that I told myself, if I ever play a free-to-play game, I will not spend any money. Because I lost so much money on that game, which is gone now.
Yep.
Now, Dungeon Fighter Online is now in a better place. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it if you're a huge fan of arcade beat-em-ups. To this day, I still play it every now and again on the news server where it's self-published now. And any money you throw at the game goes directly to developers to maintain the upkeep of the game now. So, honestly, for the fact that I don't have the time to play it as much as I used to, I should have no problem buying stuff again. Mainly because they fixed a lot of the pay-to-win walls that were established by Nexon in that game.
Plus, they max you out every fucking time. Like
they made leveling absurdly easy,
to max you out,
which would usually be a huge pain. So, but my story basically is that I got burned so bad that going forward for the longest time, whether it be a mobile game, whether it be a free-to-play online game, anything, even if it was a pay-to-win, even if it was a paid game with microtransactions in it, I'm looking at you, Dead Space 3.
Yep.
I refused. Absolutely refused.
Yep.
Now, looking at it now, if I am playing a game I enjoy, and I like the developers, I like what they're doing, I don't want to show my support, I have no problem making a purchase.
Yeah.
Dead Frontier 2. I really want to see that game be very good. I am actually quite impressed with what I believe he's calling an alpha. It is a very refined alpha, and I would have no problem buying some cosmetics right now if it weren't for the fact that it's a little too much currently. Like, it's like literally it's like $8 for a beanie.
Yeah.
On your character, and I'm like, ooh, take it back now, y'all.
This is a guy who, like,
take it back now, y'all.
This is the guy who stopped developing the first one for the longest time and just kept like operating the cash shop. That's it.
Yeah. So, but once there's kind of better options, I would say, I would have no
problem. At least get like a decent shirt that's not dirty. It's like clean, crisp. Like we just took it from like a JCPenney or some shit.
I would have no problem supporting him in his endeavors as soon as there's something in there that I want to buy.
Man, this episode quickly went from Halloween to what we think about DLC and microtransactions.
Well, I wanted to bring up because I wanted to talk about like because the levels of it, and we went off in like the separate directions. But the levels of it where there's the stuff like cosmetics, we can deal with that. There's certain season passes we can tolerate. Just real quick tidbit, I don't want to get too much on a tangent on this. Is like something I started was like I'm not liking is like Dragon Ball FighterZ does their character DLC where it's like $5 for like a character, and it's like
that. I will say a lot of the fighting games now, their season pass is basically more characters.
Yeah. Man, Soul Calibur 6 being like, hey, here's this classic character who we introduced in like the third game that everybody loves. Day 1 DLC. All right, well, fuck you too.
I thought it was just a pre-order thing.
No, it was not. Unfortunately, I thought it was a pre-order, but it's
well, that's what it says. It says it's a pre-order thing.
It's pre-ordering the season pass.
Is it? It says pre-ordering the game. You can get Tira.
Pre-ordering the season pass. Because I checked it on Steam. It might just be the PC version. It might not be the same on consoles, but
that is a bummer.
For Steam, I had to purchase the season pass to unlock Tira, which truthfully, I have no interest in maining.
I just want to use the character.
I liked her. She was fun.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her. I actually really like her design. I like her gimmick where she stays in a light stance until she drops below, I want to say, 30% health. Then she goes into a dark stance where her moves speed up, they do more damage. Because she's also has she's bipolar, that's her personality. I like that. I think it's a fun gimmick for the character.
I actually have a question after this tangent. No, after the DLC thing. I have a question about Siegfried. I was like, I need an answer to
you can
about
get
the Soul
that
Calibur
answer.
6.
Yep.
But
I'll hold on to that for you. Go ahead.
But just to get through this DLC thing, to wrap up the thoughts about it, because I just want to bring up this because this will bring everything together.
Right.
Is like things like the fighters thing, where it's like, yeah, that character, I'm willing to spend like $10 for these 5 characters, maybe like $1 per character. I can do that. I mean, like, I'm not gonna be like, but like I can tolerate that. You know, like we tolerate like fucking $10 zombie maps for one map and shitty multiplayer maps. You know, we did it for the zombie maps.
We did it for the zombie maps.
You know,
Call of Duty, I bought your season pass for zombies and that's it. I don't give a flying fuck.
Everybody has the thing they're willing to spend money on.
But that's what I'm saying. There's the levels to it, and then there's there's the really like the think about it like when you said Siege, like these things that like these transactions that are helping develop the game or extend it out beyond its lifetime. That made me start thinking, because I'm sure you guys know better because you play Siege and you would know how that stuff operates. But it's situations where like people say that kind of thing, but it's like Blizzard doesn't need loot boxes. They don't fucking need it.
No,
because they make enough money to support that fucking game.
And
I don't
give
a shit.
Everyone's been forgetting this because of the whole loot box fiasco. Blizzard never intended to put loot boxes in Overwatch. The community asked for it.
Yeah.
Which is why they haven't immediately acted on like the whole like loot box ban in other countries, is because like literally Blizzard's just sitting here like, y'all asked for this. You're the ones who let it go out of hand.
I have no idea why they would ask for that stuff, like especially like asking for it, and then it's just something you mostly pay for, because you're only gonna get like a couple loot boxes just playing the game normally half the time.
You get one every time you level up,
but like
it's
that thing. And then like the reason I just want to bring it back to like the Devil May Cry thing, why like I have that problem with it, is because it's a company. This doesn't need to happen. I don't care how little it is. Buying orbs, buying difficulty levels, buying shit that's just like shit that you earn. Like, why the fuck are you playing the goddamn game?
They offered the same thing for Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because they did the same thing. They're doing the same 5.
They splashed it, and then they saw success, and that's why they're doing it again.
But you're right. Why would you play the game if you're just gonna pay for the easy?
Well, no, it's not, because that's that. Like I told you, I had a friend I at college that I was talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
he actually brought it. Like he's like, we at the same time we were like, why the fuck are you playing the game? And it's this thing that's like, it's these people that are just buying the success. And then it brought up this thing, like, remember when that shit was a fucking cheat code? Remember when it was like, fucking put this in for big head mode? Like, that's exactly what it is for Devil May Cry. Unlocking the fucking the hardest difficulty, getting everything else in the game, God mode, having all this stuff.
Resident Evil 7, you couldn't get Madhouse difficulty until you beat the game, or you pre-order the game.
Okay, that one I understood, because I would never fucking play that. I will never play it on any difficulty below Madhouse. That game is a piece of shit on anything below Madhouse. Because,
like easy?
Well, it's easy because you can fucking save every 10 goddamn seconds. Like that game was hard because I got fucking sent back to like God knows where. There was no checkpoints. There was no safety.
The Madhouse difficulty was basically classic Resident Evil.
There's only two checkpoints. There's the one before the first the second. Sorry, the Monster Baker fight, and then a checkpoint right before the final boss. The only 2 checkpoints in the game,
which you're allowed to save for free on.
Yes,
which also needs to go into factor whenever you're trying to do a low save run for an achievement.
Because it's the tape recorders that you save with, right?
Yeah, and in this, maybe not for Resident Evil 2. Maybe it's not going to be as drastic as buying bullets. But I can tell you, I can totally see them being like no alternate costumes whatsoever unlocked in the game. There's no killing the zombie. It's going to be. Buy that costume for you.
I can already tell you right now that's already been announced. With
Polygon Leon.
They're taking the things that we used to consider achievements, trophies, rewards for accomplishing, and they're turning them into commodities and luxuries that you have to buy.
Like Gestures and Monster Hunter freaked me out. Like I was like, I remember when we used to get this shit for free.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was
I was like, we used to get Gestures and these kind of updates like for free, and like it won't bother you like, it's not something like people bother people at first, but it bothers me because this is...
You remember a time when this was provided.
It's not about remembering a time like that. That's like a part of it, yes, but it's looking forward, like, they didn't do this before, and now they're doing this now like this. They're doing it such a small detail, like with the orbs and the difficulty and these small little details that it's like, oh, they're just gonna bypass that. But what happens one day when their game just becomes microtransaction? Yeah. And that's what I fear. That's what I fear in a lot of these companies that start doing this that they've never done before, but they're doing it very slowly, and it's like, that's the biggest one that I have for, like, things. I understand free-to-play doing certain microtransactions, but big companies that don't need microtransactions at all, who make money, which is why I'm like, what do you mean Siege? Like, I see people fucking play this shit all the time. Like, I don't fucking believe in that
Seriously.
shit. Seriously.
And they say, like, oh, well, we need it to pay for the games. Maybe don't spend $300 million on a AAA video game. But that leads to the whole conversation about middle shelf video games and why they need to come back. We'll save that for another episode.
Oh, no, I know. Well, I was going to say, like, games these days, actually, like, you'd be people surprised. They think they're like, yeah, dude, it takes $300 million to make a game. Like, Grand Theft Auto, didn't even take that much money to, super make much money, and it made, like, $5 billion. Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
They made enough money to make that game for the next 20 years.
So pompous. I do not
know. And it made that much money without fucking shark card. Like, it got more money with shark cards.
No, of course it did.
Yep. Like, it sold, like, I think it crossed $1 billion on sales alone.
I do not like Rockstar.
Yeah.
I do not like their practices.
But it's, I agree with you wholeheartedly, guys. It's, you've just spent the entire season with your Little League Baseball team, beating every other team, and you've made it to the championship and you've won. Congratulations, Timmy. That'll be $10 if you want that trophy to put on your mantle.
Or even better, the team you're fighting, they paid to get here.
Yep.
They paid to be runner-up.
That was the big deal for me.
If they paid more, they could have just won innately.
That was the thing that got me for the Devil May Cry 4 was I'm like, so people are just going to buy this and be like, look, I beat the game.
I will say, I think Jeremy made, I don't know if it was Jeremy or someone I know in our group made this point, that there is, in the only case of Devil May Cry 4, if you've already played the living hell out of 4, you 100%ed it back when it was on 360 PS3, excuse me, and then buying it again, and with very little added actually to it, but then if you bought the deluxe edition, which I think on launch, the deluxe edition was literally like $5 more. Like, it was like dirt cheap upgrade, and it literally gave you everything which used to be pre-order incentives with the base game. That also included the orbs, the blue orbs. He said it was really good because if you just want to go, like, if you're a hardcore fan, you want to just go straight into it for the speed running. You want to have everything unlocked so you can start doing speed runs. It's there.
Well, and honestly, I guess, but
I know it's a very, very small justification. And I can personally see myself if I was like really that hardcore into the game, and if I could just spend $5, just save all the time and just have all the moves unlocked and my HP bar max and all that shit, I would do it.
Yeah, it's
an easy out. It's an easy out
because that's like the thing. Like if it's like, yeah, dude, like, just a random example. It's just like I fucking like, yeah, I love the rain if I liked water. You know, like,
right.
Like that's what it's like. Like if I was a speedrunner, like $5 to do that shit, but it's like. No, the actual average person, and even then,
the average person is not the
Jeremy. I'm like,
gonna be like,
Jeremy, why the fuck are you playing the game again? Like, well, you wanted to speedrun it, or did you actually want to experience the fucking game? Like,
I'm not saying
do
that
the grind,
Jeremy.
motherfucker.
I just remember hearing.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I was using Jeremy because you use Jeremy. Fuck you. No. But
anyway,
yeah. Well, that was just the last things on the DLC.
Well, if we want to wrap that up, I actually wanted to at least do because we're kind of a gaming channel. I wanted to do at least one. What?
Can I ask Mike Manny a question?
Yeah, I want to do at least one piece of like current gaming news, and this looks really interesting. So do your thing, and I'll hold on.
Manny,
Siegfried.
Because I can cut a Siegfried.
Siegfried question.
What the fuck is the blue glowing sword this? Because I played it. You watched the video? Did you watch it?
Is it not?
I watched some. I haven't getting a chance to finish the whole thing.
Like at the end, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is awesome. Like his sword.
No, but like, is it not Soul Calibur? He had Soul Calibur.
No. This is.
It is.
Like just real quick, the real like whole Soul Calibur 6. It's like the characters across the timeline. Some of them are starting at the beginning, like Yoshimitsu still has his arm. Some of them are starting somewhere in the middle. And it's at least from Soul Calibur 1 through Soul Calibur 3 because their designs are kind of.
So we might have some wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff going on.
Yeah, but so he doesn't have Soul Calibur right now.
Okay.
But like his sword is like whenever he does like something, basically his sword starts glowing blue for some reason.
Okay.
Why?
Okay, so first of all, his sword glowing blue is a reaction to when he is 30% health or lower. If you notice in the HP bar, everyone has that 30% mark. all characters gain some kind of gimmick when they're at 30% health. So when in Siegfried's case, when he is below 30% health, his sword goes blue. This opens up a couple more attack opportunities that he did not have before. Primarily, whenever you hit, I want to say, damn son, I want to say A and B, horizontal and vertical at the same time. When you're not 30% health, he kind of does a gesture where he kind of holds out his left arm out, or his offhand, because it depends on what side of the screen you're on.
Yeah.
And it glows purple. And if you're playing with the English voice song, he goes, "My hand!" And if you look on the flag properties of it, it has guard impact. So he specifically has a guard impact move that will parry any attack. I want to say from any low, mid, high. I want to say it's like a perfect parry, if you will, where he does that. And then if he succeeds in the parry, it has a longer stun than if a normal parry. No one quote me on this, because again, it was public test beta information. There's no move list, there's no frame data.
Yeah.
But I'm watching people play, and they're like, yeah, there's definitely different results when you parry with this move. Anyway, again, that's the command for it. Now, if you do that when you're 30% health, he will then still do the animation, but then he will kind of curl up and then shoot out, and then he will explode just like how Nightmare does. And then he will do the move where it's like that pulse of energy.
Yeah.
That'll just kind of, that's a one-time use that comes off out of him.
Holy shit.
And that does armor break, that is unblockable, and that does a decent amount of damage.
That sounds like that means he's in the point in his timeline where he's being corrupted by
he's fighting Nightmare.
He's
actually
fighting Nightmare.
It's probably after Soul Calibur 2 or during the time, because before he totally took over Siegfried, Nightmare is similar like Venom. He would come out at night, and basically
he's being corrupted.
And Siegfried would wake
him.
up in blood.
Yeah, he's being.
I don't know which point in the timeline it is, because Siegfried was a fucking asshole in 1
when he
and 2,
was young.
When he was 1, but this could be after 3 when they're kind of in that time where they're trying to separate.
That's really cool.
Don't kind of know exactly.
So basically, to directly answer your question, when he hits below 30% health, his sword glows, and he gains a few new attack property changes on his attacks, and that is one of them. That is the main one, and that is a one-time use. So you hit 30%, you hit horizontal, vertical, you do your shockwave explosion, and then your sword goes back to normal status.
Sounds badass.
Nightmare is able to do that move
all the time. Fuck that guy.
But it doesn't have the same properties.
No, I know, but it's still a stupid impact, because it's like an AoE impact.
One of the most popular openings for Nightmare is one of his horizontal attacks where he has the sword behind him, and he brings it up from the ground into the air, and it knocks you into the air, and it knocks you behind Nightmare, and then Nightmare can then go into that shockwave explosion and hit you in the air, and then it also juggles you, and it goes from there.
Nightmare's still busted. He's as busted as he was in Soul Calibur 5.
Now, one of the coolest things I think about Soul Calibur 6's new mechanics between Critical Edge and Critical Impact, or I forgot the term of it right now, but it's basically
Reverse Edge.
No, Reverse Edge is also the poor man's parry, and also glorified.
It's awesome.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
It's cool, but you don't want to spam it. It's highly punishable. It's the opposite. You can either do your super move, or you can go buff, where basically everyone is about the same properties: increased damage, more move opportunities. The most popular one for me for Siegfried is when you do the buff, and your sword is glowing rainbow. When he's in his down stance, when he's kind of kneeling on the ground and the sword is in front of him, and you press kick, you kind of do a shove. But when you're in that property state, you do the one where you just charge, and you're hitting multiple times off the ground, and then the final hit does an insane knockback, and it's really good for getting in the ring.
So it's like desperation.
No, I've been wondering what that. It's actually that part's the soul. It's the soul charge. You remember back in Soul Calibur 2, you could do soul charge and it would power and be power. You can only do certain moves when you have soul charge, but it only lasts a few seconds. This is more like X Factor or something like that.
It is the game's X Factor.
It comes up.
The game's spark.
Everybody has a different Keelix he gets that weird demon mode. I accidentally did it with Yoshimi because I was like, what the fuck is like he looks not. I thought a super involved him going dark, but it doesn't. I think his super changes when he is in his dark form. But
which you have to have 2 meter for, which is full bar.
Yes,
which
but
is hard to get.
if
that is a thing.
But like Yoshimitsu, I think I did like his like thing starts glowing yellow and like he has like spirit energy going on. But yeah, like that's actually some really cool shit. And like you're saying, the reverse edges are they make it flashy and shit. And I'd like to figure that stuff out because it creates like this crazy like it's beyond rock paper scissors. Like
it is rock paper scissors in offense, and then you have 8 defensive options.
That's what I was wondering.
So and then it's like a huge grid, and each one has one where it either ties out, wins, or loses. So you have 3 offensive choices. You hit horizontal, you hit vertical, or you kick.
Yeah.
And then you have several defensive options. You can sidestep, crouch, jump, backstep, guard, or guard impact.
You can guard impact that
shit?
You can
guard impact.
Damn.
So, and in terms of rock, paper, scissors, I believe how it was is
easiest to guard impact.
Horizontal beats kick, kick beats vertical, vertical beats horizontal. So there's your rock, paper, scissors right there. But then certain properties can change. So if you go horizontal and I go duck, I win the exchange, technically. Because I dodged your attack, and then my next attack that I do out of critical guard impact, out of the thing, I'm now in a more advantageous situation.
You've left them open.
If you're looking for the best option defensively, just guard. Guard beats all 3 attacks.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the best offensive, in my personal opinion, is kick. Because a lot of people mash X, or they mash square.
I always go to kick for some reason.
They mash horizontal. I'm sorry, they mash vertical. It's vertical. That's the one that they usually mash.
Verticals tend to be more powerful.
Yeah, so they mash vertical. Kick beats that.
Yeah.
And then... But that's just kind of the normal one.
Kick acts more like an interrupt than it does. Like, actually going into, like, your attacks, because your kicks are kind of short, it creates an interrupt, but that's it. Like, it does that damage.
You're creating an opening rather than going for a hit.
But, like, you don't really get as much options after that.
Yeah. So, the best times to use guard critical impact would be whenever your opponent is applying too much pressure on you and you want to make space, or if they are low on HP and you're looking for the kill. Because how it works is each one, they'll have your red, the weapon comes out, and it's glowing red. And then as long as the weapon's out, you can take any hit, it's fine. And then you trigger the animation with an attack. So if they're low on HP, you can just safely keep taking whatever hits they're doing, and then it has an innate punish. Now, this doesn't mean that when you're doing your guard animation that you're invincible. You are still susceptible to guard break. And unblockables. And I believe you cannot critical edge guard.
Oh, you can also be attacked by side attacks and things that could actually break through your guard. Because it's happened to me where, like, or they'll do it right as you do the counter.
Also, sidestepping is an easy way to get around it if someone's abusing it. But yeah. It's really great mechanics. I love all of them.
I'm excited.
If you want to see something cool, because I did it, there was a fight. I had actually beaten a maxi player who like gotten like several wins in a row.
It's always good to beat a maxi player.
Well, this guy had like several wins in a row, and I
used to ring myself out so much with Maxi.
I was Keelik, and we did several of the rock paper scissors shit, and I had one where it was really good because he actually was going to attack me, and I would have lost if I had lost this rock paper scissors. But I actually did the sidestep. But how fluid it is so nice, and it looks so good because it was a sidestep, and he fucking twirls around to dodge the attack, but then the attack immediately comes down for my staff. So it's not like you just sidestep and it ends the thing. It'll keep the thing going, and it actually acts as not only just a dodge but a counterattack.
That's the benefit when you do the defensive options. Is that yes, you don't really hit them, but you are put in an advantage situation that your next attack was more or less guaranteed to connect.
Right.
You played a bit of Tekken 7. I believe that is where they kind of got that feel from. I remember when I played Tekken 7 for a little bit. Whenever both players had low HP and they're going in for that final hit, the game slows down so you can see who's going to take that hit. That's kind of what they did for.
And sometimes it's a little janky.
Yeah, it's funny when it's janking, honestly. But the core game itself, I don't know if you had any of these moments when your time with the beta. It happens just innately always. Whenever you have that low HP and you get the win, you get great. You don't get victory, you get great because you came back from the end. there are times when the game, it doesn't necessarily slow down. It maybe slows down just a smidge, but then the screen goes dark and it plays like really dark, dramatic, like a really like quick burst of like done, like really dramatic music flare. I remember this happens a lot whenever I get a juggle combo started with Siegfried.
It's like Toasty.
At low HP. And I'm like, whenever that happens, that means the game's like, this is it. If you do the right move, you win.
Yep.
And it's that situation. And I've seen situations where people will drop the combo there, but then you're like, fuck, you could have won, basically.
Yep.
And I think that is also a cool mechanic that they added in that they probably took from their time with Tekken.
Yeah,
I am so excited for 6.
Agreed.
I am so excited.
I want to move on to your thing in a minute,
Yep.
but there's one more thing I want to bring up, and I learned this from a comment on that video that I put in Soul Calibur. Because in the video, I started talking about because like Ethan, he watched the video and he was just like, I kind of wish you'd talk more about the Soul Calibur stuff, or like more about like some of the mechanics stuff. And I'm like, I did in the Yoshimitsu part because that's who I actually played a lot of. I only had one video that I could use because it would have been too long, but I actually talked about Yoshimitsu because that's the mechanics that I was with, and I was like, I brought up critical, like all the stuff that was in it, the critical edge.
A lot of Yoshimitsu specials now leeches off soul edge juice. Again, I don't know the terms.
I just call it
and
the
I'm like,
soul energy and stuff.
Motherfuck.
No.
But no, the problem, actually, I know it pisses you. You're like, no, my soul energy.
Yeah.
No, the problem I had was that fucking throw. His grab in the other games, this was his regular grab was like he would, beat the shit out of him, right? But like a special one was he would grab them, and it would take his health away, but it would also do damage and do some special thing to him, like he would like this equilibrium thing. Well, that grab is now his regular grab. And here's where I had the problem. I would grab them, it would take my damage, it would do damage to me, heal them. Every time I grabbed them.
That's weird.
Damage to me, heal them. Someone commented down below, and this is why. And this is very shitty for Yoshimitsu. And that's, regularly when two people grab each other at the same time, they, do the animation and break.
They break, yeah.
Yoshimitsu doesn't get that. Yoshimitsu instead suffers in the fact that if they try to grab break and they successfully grab break, they don't play the grab break animation. Instead, Yoshimitsu fucks up his throw, and essentially it's like that goofy thing where it's a punish. It's a punish if you fuck up.
That's actually
where instead of doing, because I did it, like I kept doing afterwards, I couldn't recreate it. I was trying to
because it was a situation where you got grab broke, where it still plays the grab animation, but you are doing the grab damage to yourself.
There's no like actual clear indication that I learned about.
That's so
you do it,
weird.
and it does throw damage. I'm like,
I don't want to justify it because that is seriously bad for anyone who's going to want to professionally play Yoshimitsu.
Oh, which means you
but
never do that throw.
it just matches the character. Unfortunately,
exactly, because he's a person who does good damage at a price.
And in the previous, I don't know if he can still do it, but in the previous games, there was that move where he turns his back to him and then he stabs him and then stabs the other dude. And I'm like,
and they can just sidestep.
I'm never in a situation where I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do that.
That is a very long, I guess as longest move to pull off because it's like a million directions and then like all these buttons.
That's just part of the character.
And but
I get it, but like that's unfortunate.
They chilled back with some of that stuff. Like there was moves I was doing that wasn't doing as much damage, but there's like a lot of things that make it so he like gets dizzy and stuff. But like I hated like that throw. Like I was like, oh shit, I need to figure out how to do the fucking suplexes and like the body slams and shit. The suplexes are the best part of that.
I know you want to talk about your thing. If you can just find a way to wait a minute, I've got it.
No, take a piss. We'll
right,
cut.
Me and Connor, we're gonna talk about. Hey, everybody, let's go back to talking about Kingdom Hearts. No. Have you played? Did you play the Soul Calibur 6?
No, I never got a chance to.
You have any questions about it? I could ask you. Like, if you who do you play?
Sophia is one of my primaries. I know the people have been saying that she's real good.
I fought a couple of them in like the last part of it. I fought a couple of them in the last part. I swear to God, half of them like fucking just did the same combo over and over again, and they became predictable. Like, it was like they would do like like a 2-hit combo with like a sword strike and then like a shield uppercut thing, and I was just like
Sophia, and that's the way Sophia has always been. She's got a couple really good power combos in every game, and people just spam it and become predictable. She has a good variety of change-ups that she can do, and a lot of really good low to high or low to high, high to low, like change-up combos, and people never do them. She's got the shit that everyone knows, the grab where she puts her crotch in their face, the grab where she gets them in a hug and cuts their neck open. She's got the spin kick where she just jumps in the air and hits them, and like she's got some really good moves that
Oh,
are so some big some
She got
great
some great moves.
She's got a great move set, if you know what I mean. She's got some really cool moves that are easily predictable once you get to know them, and people forget about her change-up combos because she has such a good. I have seen people talk about it, and people say that she's broken as fuck. She just has a really good change-up game and a really good variety. Also, love Mitsurugi. Straightforward, simple.
I only saw 2 Mitsurugis. I saw one in my first match, and crazy enough, I saw one in my last match that I played in the bay. Like, I didn't see any others. And the funny is, I didn't see Geralt until, like, because I didn't play Geralt at all. I wanted to wait till the actual game came out to experience that on recording and stuff like that. But I actually, like, I saw Geralt finally, or, it's not Geralt. I played the games. It's Geralt of Rivia, I'm pretty sure.
Geralt of Rivia.
Witcher games are great, by the way. I recommend playing them. But, I saw that gameplay and I liked it, and like that was like a weird low one. Like I saw a lot of Groves eventually. Like I didn't fight one until a little bit later, but
he's the new character, right?
Yes, he's all right. He looks like he'd be interesting to learn and stuff because he uses like 2 swords and puts them together, and it's like a double blade, twin blade, stuff like that. I didn't experience so much of that. Like. It was kind of just like a character here. Like there was Ivy's, a lot of. I fought a couple Maxis, a fucking Nightmare, dude.
Yeah,
that shit. I fought Nightmare with Jangwa. It's in the video too. I fucking took him all. Like I took all 3 rounds, and on the last one, I don't know why. I can't remember because I didn't do the commentary for the video until the next day, so I kind of forgot some of that stuff. But I felt like. There was a part during the Zhengguang like where I was just doing like I was like, what the fuck? Did I just do a combo? Because like I kind of do like semi combos, but never good with like keeping them going.
You said Shenghua?
Yeah. Where like I knocked him like I fucking was knocking him around, then I knocked him up, and then I like my kick reached. I was like I fucked up. I hit the kick button, but it reached and it took like a pixel of him, knocked him back up, and I fucking beat the shit out of him and beat him completely.
Shenhua's got some really weird combo moves.
They've changed her a bit in 6 from what Jeremy said. I don't play her enough, but like
I've never played her enough.
It's changed enough that Josh doesn't want to play her, and that was his main for all Soul Calibers.
Damn.
He's like it feels more like the one from 5, and I'm like,
I will say another character that a character that I liked the moveset. You've heard me say this. I liked the fighting style and moveset. Hated the actual character, Patroclus.
Yeah, dude.
Sophidia's kid. I loved his moveset and the more aggressive version of Sophidia's fighting style.
They brought it back in Soul Calibur 6.
Oh, fuck yeah.
With that.
If I can make a custom character that has... See, that's another thing I can see them doing as DLC for that game is Soul of Characters Past.
It happened before. It happened before. They've done, like, you want the Soul Calibur 4 armor stuff that you got in Soul Calibur 4?
Yeah.
So, well, it was better back then. It was like, it was $1. It was literally $1. I'm like, fuck yeah.
So, yeah, Sophidia, Mitsurugi, I dick around. I like great sword characters, so I dick around with Siegfried, but Siegfried is Manny's boy.
I purposely I played as Zhenghua because I was like, I'm doing these videos. I did 2 characters. I played Yoshimitsu and Keelik, and then I was like, okay, I'll do some battles with like a character they play as like Josh. And I was like, okay, Zhenghua, and I did Zhenghua, and then I did Siegfried last because I was like. Manny's a part of this. I have to put his in there, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. like I can't. I beat it. I won. Best 2 out of 3. I won. Tira beat me on the second time around. I beat her pretty good the first time. Second time, I got caught up in something. Third time, which is the one I showed. I showed some of the worst habits of the game, but like I learned the kind of stuff, and I was like, Siegfried's fun. He still is. I still hate Nightmare, dude. He's fucking.
Nightmare's gonna be busted at the end of the time.
There, like, I played that time I played probably wasn't as experienced. That was Shenghua. I did some tricky stuff with Shenghua, but the real problem with Nightmare is that he seems too fast sometimes. Like, he's a slow character, but he gets out some attacks really fast.
Yep.
Like I see some like
that's one of the reasons I hated Astaroth. He like the concept of weight and size doesn't seem to apply in the Soul Calibur games sometimes. Characters as big and bulky as Nightmare and Astaroth should not be that fast.
You've seen Inferno.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Like, fuck, dude. That dude's using Soul Edge, and he's just like, he's using fucking Yoshimitsu style moves, and I'm like, that's spooky. Like, and I saw this in the video, because I watched, if we've mentioned it before, we're big fans of Maximilian, dude.
Yes.
Always recommend it to go watch some of the stuff. If you want to learn about fighting games, he actually talks about it. A lot of the mechanics, he's a fun guy.
Yeah, he makes some fantastic content.
I don't. He didn't say. Like, he was. I think he asked us like in the video. He's like, wonder if like, will we be able to play this online or something? In the fine print, it says you can't play Inferno online. He is a straight up boss character, and he's so fucked up, dude. Like, he's crazy.
Feeling better.
And he's a character that uses unique movesets.
Inferno?
Even on the weapon, and it's that's basically been confirmed. Like the move, regardless of the weapon, he'll still have his own moves that he applies to it,
which is cool. I've seen more information on Inferno. My only problem with Inferno now, like truthfully, after I've looked into the information and everything like that, apparently Tekken 7 had this problem too. I guess there were like boss characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Tekken 7 that were not playable at all. Period.
Yeah.
And people found a way to hack it.
Yep.
So that you could replace X character with boss character and then go online, so that it says like, it's like, give me two characters, like How Wrong versus, isn't it like Bruce or something?
Yeah.
So it's like how Wrong versus Bruce, and then you load in as How Wrong, and then your opponent loads in as like fucking Ogre or some nonsense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know Tekken too much.
It's probably
and you're just sitting there
Devil,
like, you what, mate?
Devil Kazuya. Devil Kazuya is one of the boss
apparently
characters.
that's only on the PC version, obviously.
Right.
So that's actually now a fear that I have getting the PC version of Soul Calibur 6 is not. I am afraid of running into an Inferno in ranked.
Yep.
When someone's claiming to play as Sophitia or something.
No, what you got to do is you got to fucking spend the first day just fucking
beating
fighting Inferno on the hardest difficulty.
No, I really do want to hope that it's not going to be that bad.
But think about the titty mods.
I mean,
I can't wait for PC stuff when people are like, we're modding in more armors, and I'm like, Soul Calibur.
Well, actually, I'll be
3
completely honest, and it sucks. One of the biggest sells for the season pass for Soul Calibur 6 was the fact that they're offering over 100+ character customization options with the season pass.
Damn.
Dude, I'm pre-ordering that with my next paycheck.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Alright, fuck you. You got my money.
Like, season pass comes with, of course, tier 3 unannounced characters.
How much was the season pass?
30. 30. Because I remember, regular game is $59.99, and then deluxe edition, which comes with the season pass, is $89.99. I mean, I already bought it. I don't like take my money. I'm begrudgingly take my money.
I know. I know.
I want it so bad.
There goes my water bottle.
There goes my fucking wallet. And
so actually, really
the
quickly on the topic of the DLC fighters,
Wing. Yeah.
I really do hope that we get one more cameo character, and I want to get one more newcomer.
That's right. Devil May
That'd
fucking
be nice.
Dante. Featuring Dante from
Finally.
Devil May Cry.
Not just Dante. Deontay. Featuring Dante.
I know Jeremy wants to get
How great would it be if they brought that joke full circle and actually had Dante?
Right.
And they can say, we finally put Dante in the fucking game. Fuck your memes.
Which game was this supposed to be in? 3?
3.
2 or 3.
It was 3.
It wasn't 2.
It was 3.
It was 2.
It was
yeah.
3.
Or no, it was 3. It was 3.
3 was the huge rumor that he'd be the cameo character in 3, which I don't think 3 had a cameo character.
It didn't.
That's why, because they cut him at the last minute or something.
Because 2, the whole different cameo characters for different platforms was such a successful marketing gimmick that they were like, we can get away with that again. And then at the last minute, it's like,
well, no, the reason is because they didn't know how to develop Dante. Like, they didn't cut him. It's because they're like, he has so much shit
he's
that
got
he's
a
like,
gun, and he's got all these weapons.
And that kind of combat system, Dante doesn't work. He's too his combat.
I think
style,
he can work now because
he
people
can work
are more
now.
trying to
Have you seen the new the second original character, which is basically like the main bad guy in 6?
Yes.
He uses everyone's weapons. He's Noctis. No, like legit. Like he has
he's Noctis, but he has Dio's
Dio's personality.
final. He has Dio's final thing where he fucking does the Zawardo and fuck.
Zawardo.
Real quick, did you see Zasamel's super?
Yeah, no.
Holy shit! I was like,
me.
what the fuck? I'm like, I fucking hate counter supers, by the way.
Oh no, yeah.
It's also not a counter. It's like a counter, but if you fucking don't let it go, he'll still hit you and do it. I'm like, but no. It is actually Zawardo. He fucking stops time and everything goes black and white, and he just beats the shit out of you.
And he turns his back, snaps his fingers, and you explode.
And I'm like, oh god, I'm like fucking Tokyo Tomari.
Tokyo Tomari!
You know what? The other guy, I wish he had it, but he only does the part where he just fucking throws knives and shit at you.
Yeah.
But it's basically Dio's finisher.
Yeah.
The fucking boss dude just throws a bunch of knives.
And on with new characters, you, Connor, I think will really like Grom. And I'm not saying that design-wise or dual blade Grom.
I thought it was Grow.
I mean, let's be honest here. there's a certain character type I like, dual wielding, brooding.
Oh no! You know how you say like black and red, and you were like an edgelord in high school or some shit like that. He's that character. He's an anime edgelord.
I mean, he really truly is. Even when he goes into his transformation,
he's like, I got a mission.
He like does this animation where he does this, and then he breaks the arm. He has like a gauntlet on his arm.
He fucking metal as fuck, dude.
He breaks the arm off, and then his hair goes white and red and spiky. But no, and on a serious note, I think you'd like him because when I was watching a pro player play him, his moveset is dangerously similar to, I believe her name is Setsuka. The girl who had the hitting katana. I remember overhearing you liked that character.
I did like Setsuka a lot. I was never good at her, but I liked her.
Well, he has similar move sets in terms of feel with the different stance changes, because he does have stances where he has his dual blade, and then he has them detached, and he has his dual swords. He has similarities in that sense. He's less mechanical as Setsuka, because I used to wanted to try to.
She was very mechanical.
She's very mechanical, and she's very slow if you don't know what you're doing with her. But Gro is not like that.
Cool.
But he's similar in the flavor style of like stance changing and weapon changing during combat. So I highly recommend giving him a try when the game comes out.
Fudge yes.
That's good shit, man. Anyways, Soul Calibur 6, great game. We'll get more about that when it actually fucking comes out. So, give us your story.
All right, so I figured it would be good. Like I said, if we at least talk about one thing happening in the gaming world, then maybe next time we'll do that up front. But I was looking at GameSpot. So, we remember, a week or two ago, this just came out on GameSpot a couple days ago. A week or two ago, we found out the big news about Telltale Games. And they were like, we're going down to 25 people.
Didn't we just talk about this earlier?
Did we?
Were you not here?
If you're gonna go on about the topic of like how they're able to be reacquired, we talked about it just for a brief second.
I thought you were here.
What I was going to say is we heard about how they got down to like 25 people, just a skeleton crew. Yeah. Well, apparently, according to some people within them, they laid off the rest of the team.
Oh, wait, is that the part you're talking about?
That's the part I'm talking about.
Did you not hear the rest of the news?
No.
Oh, here are you?
So, and this is from GameSpot. I don't know who the writer of the article is, but apparently, according to former narrative designer Rachel Noel, shared the news on Twitter, writing, "Hey, remember how there was going to be a skeleton crew staying on for a while, and I was part of it? Nah, JK, we all just got laid off too."
Yeah.
See, I hadn't heard that.
Oh yeah, that article, I think it was like from a few days ago, and that like the news on the whole Telltale thing has been going on fast, and I just read like yesterday or today. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday or last night.
See, I hadn't even heard about that part. It
just got
reacquired.
No, not Telltale. The Walking Dead did in a sense that because Telltale, even then, these last couple weeks have been trying to talk to somebody to keep The Walking Dead alive, to finish it out. And they finally got somebody, and I forgot who the hell. I think they belong to Microsoft, or they belong to some company, I think. But they're called Skybound Games, I believe, and they are rehiring some parts of the Walking Dead team to finish the other episodes out, because episode 2 was done and being released. Episode 3 was already finished, basically. Like, it just had some other stuff. And I think 4 was like half done, or like it was getting done. So they've made a deal with Telltale Games to finish The Walking Dead so they can see the end of that story and it doesn't just get canceled and goes up into oblivion. So they've come. That's the other half of that story, because that was from a few days ago, and just this shit just keeps like adding on and adding on. Like one day it's like, oh yeah, Telltale Games isn't closing down. We're gonna just do some small stuff and make sure we fulfill all our obligations. Oh, by the way, that was a lie. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, now look.
It really sucks what happened to Telltale. It really sucks. But
I think the company itself, I don't give a flying fuck about. The employees, I do. A lot of them. Actually, no, I think none of them got severance.
Nope. No, and actually, there's been a big conversation since it happened, because all the stories are coming out about how the Telltale employees were treated awfully, low pay, long hours, no vacations, the crunch was real, like... Telltale, and the problem is Telltale did all this while never actually changing anything about their games. If you want to survive, there's nothing wrong with having a familiar formula, but you have to kind of evolve a little bit. And Telltale
did not do that.
They did it to themselves.
Oh yeah, that was actually cool.
They were the architects of their own destruction.
They were going off of was the fact that just each game was a different story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, looking at it from the outside, to a certain extent, it was a surprise for me hearing that they went under and they laid off all the employees. And it wasn't until literally like when we started talking like off conversation with friends and everything that I realized, it's true. Telltale's never really invented their game any differently. They've always had gimmicks like, you and 85% of people decided to side with this person during this conversation. You guys said eat a
sandwich instead of a hot dog.
In some instances, that's kind of fun. But that wasn't really introduced until some of the later games. And even then, like, that's not really changing much in your formula. You're in episodic games. They're all story-driven. They're all comic book style, cel-shaded for the most part, I believe.
They're all the only games that Mike and Spencer will play.
That was fun.
No, they haven't really changed anything. And it really didn't take me until they shut down for me to realize this. But I did not realize this because they straight up were like, they announced like fucking 4 or 5 new projects.
Yeah.
One of which I was unbelievably excited for. It was literally the only game that they ever made that I truly care about. The Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Yep.
They were super disappointed they couldn't do that.
It was fantastic. And I was so hoping that they would get a Season 2, but they were too busy wheeling in that...
the tattoo comes off.
Oh, jeez. They're just too busy reeling in that Walking Dead money.
They weren't, actually, now. Well, back then, yes.
Back then is what I mean, because that is their most successful title. That's what really shipped them up to be who they were at the time.
They've become yet another cautionary tale in
I get it.
The gaming industry. You got
it. A telltale.
They've become a cautionary telltale in the video game industry.
Kind of, to an extent, I haven't really had a chance to talk to my friend about it. When I was in college,
we're good for a moment.
One of my good friends in college, his goal was to be brought on by them like that. His end game was to be one of their employees.
Is actually a very shitty thing. Like, you guys know how much of the story of that do you know? Like, do you only know like the bits and pieces of the
Telltale situation?
This was also keep in mind that when I was in school, that was 3 years ago, and that was that was around the time Telltale's I feel like their peak, if you will.
Yeah.
So they were. I assume to have been a very reputable company to probably work for.
Sort of. There was still there was talks of this happening of what he was talking about.
Yeah, but he absolutely loved their games, and honestly, I feel kind of bad that all the games that he was looking forward to now, that just like how we're not going to get our PT, we're not going to get other game I can't really think of off the top of my head that just gets canned. Just that feeling of. You're really looking forward to this game, and it gets canned. Yeah. You're never going to get it. I bet that must have really sucked.
Oh, yeah.
Something that really sucked was, part of the story is those people that got fired, there was literally people among them that just got the job.
Yeah.
They just got the job, and even worse, people that just got the job and moved from the other side of the fucking world.
Oh, they relocated. Oh, absolutely. That's horrifying.
They got there and fired. Nothing. No.
That makes people wonder, how long did Telltale know?
Brought up in the article.
Were they trying to stay afloat, or did they kind of know the ship was sinking?
That was part of the article. They said there's no doubt that they knew. There's no way you don't know. You know when people are getting fired.
You know when your business is failing.
Yeah,
because especially if any of those people, that was their first game design job, that has to be absolutely destructive.
I think obviously, unless their accountants were hiding shit from them, they knew their business was fucking tanking. And they were hoping on things like The Walking Dead, the final season, to get this bam, new Walking Dead, give us the money. But the problem is the audience was gone.
It did okay, but it wasn't what they wanted. But the thing they were banking on, I think this might be the reason, just to give them some, because the shit that went down, and this is I read I don't know if I know it wasn't this guy, but the whole shit that the problems with the companies, the overworking, the crunch time, all this stuff, that was with the previous CEO. He was a fucking asshole or something. This new CEO is better, from what I understand. And I just say, the employees there, they love Telltale. They're very sad that this happened, not just because they lost their job, but they actually actively love their job and doing the stuff that they did.
Yep.
But like this new CEO, I think, has only been there for a year and stuff, and like he's tried to actually actively fix the company, and he believed that it was going to happen. But one of the things that instigated this was the 2 deals. Did you hear about that part?
Which one?
The 2 deals, like why this really happened. Like one of the big chunks of reasons is because I think AMC was one of the companies. I can't remember if it was. I can't remember exactly what the other company is either. But there was 2 companies at the same time that were going in on deals to make games for like lots of money. You know, there was these deals happening, and for some reason they thought it was like like he said it flat out, was like, yeah, it's a sure thing. You know, we're getting these deals signed, they're done, they're getting like it's all done and good. It's on and if like if one of the other guys backs out, the other guy is gonna pick up the second deal, like, you know, guaranteed kind of thing. And later on, like they found like AMC, that's what I remember, came out and was just like, yeah, I don't know why he thought it would be a done deal. Like we talked about it, but there was no like guarantee. There was no nothing like that. Yeah. So they must like what was happening there.
They presented a game pitch basically, and they were under the impression apparently that it was guaranteed. Like you said, it's going to be a done deal. And then the other party is like, no, we never agreed to actually help make or promote or supervise, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was to support,
produce,
invest. That's invest.
Yeah, they're investing. We're not gonna help invest into this game. But he's already under the impression that he's already hiring all this manpower. He's already breaking out schedules and timelines and due dates and all this shit. It's from what it sounds like, and that just all fell through.
Yeah, and the thing is, they both fell through at the same time. Like they both backed out at literally the same time, and that left them with nothing. It left them with
literally nothing.
Yeah.
So literally, everyone went in to go clock in for the day, and doors were locked, and they weren't allowed inside.
I can't remember where the article was, but it was actually an article that was filled with testimonies from like what happened the day, like everything that happened, like actually from when they clocked in to like 30 minutes later when they walked into a meeting room that was called, and the CEO looked dead serious. Yeah, and they gave him like they're getting like mass sued. Those people are getting like
hardcore class action lawsuit
because like, you know, they broke several laws.
Yeah, during everything, like it's
for all that. Like you can't fire someone without like days notice. You know, you can't. It's not just the severance part. It's just the because I think there's a corporate law around not giving severance to somebody if you don't have the money, or if, you know, for a reason or some shit like that. Corporate law is stupid. But I know there is a law that protects employees from being fired like that in certain companies and stuff. Like they can't, like you need super like advanced notice so they can actually go out and be prepared. Yeah. Now these people aren't prepared. Now they're very scared in they're in a whole new world of shit now.
Yep.
Because of this situation.
Yeah. That the legacy of Telltale is not. The legacy of Telltale is going to be one that is going to end in fire, because I mean, some of those people are never going to work in this industry again. Not like the programmers, the coders, the writers, the innocent victims, the employees. They'll find other jobs, hopefully. I hope every last misplaced employee finds a new job in the gaming industry. But the people at the top who kind of watch the ship sink and kind of let it just hit that sudden stop, I don't think anyone's ever going to want to work with or for them again. A lot of people from the top of that ladder have probably, inadvertently or not, their careers are probably done.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, at the same time, when you said that, I figured you also meant there is actually some people that, from this incident, they won't be able to get another gaming job, and it's just because those programmers, those writers, those graphic designers. It's a competitive
market.
And it's not just that. It's like they have a thing on their resume that says you were in a company that fucking sucked. You know, like
you've been fired.
Even if they know the story,
there's fired and there's laid off.
No. But it was still on your resume. You were in a company that fell through. That you went in one day and you were gone.
A hire is going to look at that and go, "Oh, so you were to Telltale, so you're part of the reason why the company failed."
That's
how they're going to see it.
It is a cutthroat industry.
That's fair.
That's how they're going to see it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is absolutely cutthroat.
So I will say, as kind of a closing to that, truly, to all, if any of them fucking listen to this, but if somehow the former employees of Telltale hear this, I hope each and every one of you can get back on your feet, and that each and every one of you is able to find a job in the industry or doing what you love. I wish the best.
Why are you laughing as I say that?
I'm laughing because it started out with, you know, those fucking lawyer commercials, like if you or a loved one.
If you or a loved one has been
with mesothelioma. No, what? Or I was like, if you or a loved one has been
Laid off by Telltale
Games, call this lawyer.
No, I hope each and every one of those people is able to pick up the pieces.
Definitely.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to wrap up.
Yeah,
the
we've been
podcast
going for a
tonight,
while.
but we're going to reel it all the way back, and I'm going to finally finish my original thought.
What was the original thought?
Fucking Gygus and Jeremy in the fucking music shit, alright? That was like one half of it. But essentially...
Oh my god, so back to an hour ago,
yes,
2
back
hours
to
ago.
Go back and remember that part. Like, boogie boarding.
Jeremy's having a nightmare where he's having
No. I'm just talking about the other half. It's only going to take like a minute or two.
You hit the mic?
Oh shit, I hit the mic. I blame you.
I blame everything.
Okay, but basically, the whole thing, recap, moments like these where we just talk forever and ever. Jeremy was going to sleep, told us about a nightmare, then he was like, fuck this bitch-ass slip. Got up, we watched, like, the ending of Mother 3, and then for, like, at that point, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, for, like, the next 5 or 6 hours, we fucking talked about life, fucking One Piece, like, we talked about, like, the Great War, all the crazy shit, like,
really into One Piece.
when I left, it was fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, like, that's like these moments where we could do these kind of podcasts, where it's just like, shit, dude, that would have been like hours and hours of us just goofing off and shit. That's where I think he showed us the fucking Jambo Jet video.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you all very much for joining us here. It has been
Connor.
And
Manny.
and me, Fabi. This has been your late night.
Your late night DJ.
This has been your late night DJ, 5K GP.
That's not gonna stick.
Thank you all very much. It's gonna stick to me. It's actually going to be, and the P is gonna be huge, and then it's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be P, actual P. No. All right. Thank you all again, and we will see you guys next time.
Night, guys.